Very nice graphic design showing the landmarks around the area. So you have the opera house and the playhouse. I don't know what Gamle scene means because it's in Danish. So let's check out the playhouse because it's meant for theater performances. So you have that nice brickwork at the podium area, and then you have a glass on top, clearly expressed, floating above the river. And a nice housing complex. So it's really this is a design city. Like, even the housing is very interesting, good architectural quality. And then you have the opera house over there, and a nice wooden deck for running, for having coffee, and just basically enjoying the view of this beautiful river with that beautiful bike bridge. So let's check out the other side of the playhouse. Obviously this is a fancy restaurant. And I can see from here Copenhagen, the design of Bjarke Ingels. So I don't know the name of this place, but we're still at the playhouse area, and it opens to a public square. And this wooden deck is actually not just for pedestrians. I just saw some bikers taking this route, and I just want to say that they really celebrate the river. They don't cover it, they don't build expressways on it, on top of it. They actually make use of it because they want to celebrate nature somehow, because the city is already filled with man-made buildings, and they want to preserve something that is natural and something that actually part of nature. In fact, this river is actually swimmable. It's one of the few rivers in Europe that you can swim in. Like the river is part of the public space, and they can build artworks, and then it provides opportunities for businesses like retail, F&Bs. That is why they build landmarks such as this one, and they want to punctuate it with different points of interest. The opera house, like I said, the housing maybe not a part of that plan, but you can see that the housing design is also interesting. And try to imagine a long stretch, and then you have different points of interest along the river, and then that will make the boat ride, the cruise experience very memorable. So you don't just see buildings as part of the urban fabric or the architectural fabric. You also see different buildings that are iconic, trying to stand out, because it's a symbol of culture, symbol of art, symbol of how advanced the society is, of the civilization. So these are symbols of the city, and symbols of what makes their people beat, or what makes their country proud, and architecture is a tool for that. You can see this ramp connecting the Nijhaven walk area, or the waterfront area, to the playhouse. And let's try to explore the side area of the facility. And they have a nicely designed bike racks, and you can see it's made of metal. And then I would imagine that there's lighting underneath, so we won't be here until later, but that's how I imagine it to be like at night. So they just keep the underside of the the deck really clean, straightforward, because they can keep it clean. And another set of bike racks. So you know that this is an old building, and they provided an addition, and you can see how careful they were in providing an extension. so it doesn't look so bad at all. So this is just the area for delivery probably, or parking, and yet it's well organized. Okay. So this is another vantage point of the city along the river, and you can see they have a big open space for the public to enjoy. And this one particular feature of the park that I want to show. So they have that installation as a playground that kids jump on. It's like a fixed jumping trampoline. So this is pretty cool. So that's Christiana, that side. Because I remember the vlog of Kara and Nate, they tried to climb that spiral. So this is what I was talking about, like, you know, you cannot just feel the entire stretch of the river with, you know, popular landmarks. You have like the typical buildings that composing of the building fabric of Copenhagen. That's why you have a very dominant architectural style from different periods, and of course there's a dominant one, and then all of a sudden you have a stretch of government buildings on the other side, which we're going to check out the moment we're able to cross that bridge. Again, we're still along the river, and you can see the bike lane clearly expressed on this side, the pedestrian on this side. And I just want to point out the fascination, maybe not the fascination, but the dominant copper roofing of Copenhagen, which is really making it identifiable with the city. So over time it creates that very distinct patina. So that's why some of the buildings are trying to echo that color, especially that building and some other buildings that we've seen along the way of this driveway. You have places for sitting, so that the people can enjoy the view of the water. Even this tower of this bridge has that copper cladding that is already aging with a very interesting stain patina over time. Of course, after this bridge, old building, modern building, modern building, and this is the stretch of government buildings along the river. Again, they don't shy away from the river. They actually celebrate it, even though there are some industrial facilities over there. So we are at an age wherein the industrial buildings no longer feel like an eyesore. It's part of the city fabric. It's meant to be celebrated, and in some cases it is adaptively reused to become a museum, a shopping mall, or even a theater. So I'm not familiar with this building, but it has that green color as well as a celebration probably of the copper roofing of Copenhagen. And I remember reading about blocks of Oma's Danish Architecture Center. They are referring to the green color of the river. I don't see it now. Maybe on a clear sunny day we are able to see it. And here you can see the Danish the Copenhagen library. They call it the Black Diamond. So again, most of the distinctive architectural landmark, even the old ones, are along the river. Try to imagine a skyway or a highway, an elevated one, being built on top of it. What happens in this area? Okay. So we try to go up that stairs because I'm sure it's part of the library. So let's see what we can see upstairs, but I'm sure it will provide us a nice view of the river and of the Copenhagen Library. Forgot the name of the building. Oh yeah, there's really nothing here except a big open space probably for events, and serves as a viewing deck of the stretch of government buildings. One of them I think is for taxation, if I'm not mistaken, and you can see the black diamond just in front of us. And I wonder if this deck leads to somewhere. So I reckon, I haven't really read about this building, that this is an extension of that old building, because Europeans are really good at providing modern extensions from historical old buildings. I hope there's a staircase on the other side, otherwise you have to turn around. But obviously this might be part of the library. Okay, they're trying to echo the repetitions of building, open space, building, and then you have that condition here as well. So unfortunately we have to return to that side. So obviously you can see that this is an old building, and this is obviously, so you can see that this is an old building and this one is a modern one. They really love their green, and then even in the government buildings you see a lot of green colors. What's my point about it? You know, sometimes in design, like when you try to combine colors, etc., to create an interesting composition. I know it's not really a given specific rule, but when you have that consistency, you know that it belongs to one great composition. And in this case, while probably they're not conscious of using the green color, subconsciously they want to celebrate what they already have, and over time that becomes more authentic, and over time that becomes the context that they are working with. Especially when you become a designer, these elements become usable as a take-off point for design. I know that's not the end all of design, and it's not just the tool or the elements that you can use when you are referencing something, but you know that little by little, even though it's modern, they are creating something that is uniquely for their city. And I think that's what I want to point out when it comes to the green color. It may sound so elementary, but it is what it is, and I think it's those little things that makes the design interesting and more meaningful. And there's no doubt that the green came from somewhere. And now going back to the river again, this is an important building, definitely an architectural masterpiece. And then the building by Oma or Remkulas. And I guess this is where we end our walking tour. This is just actually an extension, because I just wanted to show Stroll and then how it's connected to Nijhaven and then to the riverfront. And obviously the riverfront is as equally interesting and well connected, and you can literally walk from that area to this area. In fact, I turn on my my Nike run and then from Nijhaven, so it's 5 kilometers.